Strong Dads would like to welcome Casey's Outdoor Solutions as a new sponsor to our podcast. Casey's is a premier garden center and gift shop located in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Casey's offers a wide selection of plants, landscaping materials, home and garden decor, and gifts for every occasion. Casey's is committed to providing exceptional service, a unique shopping experience, and value to every customer. Stop in and see what makes Casey's so unique. Located at 21481 State Line Road, Lawrenceburg, Indiana, or call 812-537-3800. Let Casey's help you add beauty to your home. Welcome to Strong Dads. Hey, this is Hutch and Kyle Crawford bringing you another great show.
Another show, Merle. I feel like our intro, we've talked about this before because Linda brought it up a while ago. I think our intro is the same every single time. We gotta change something up.
What do you mean? Another great show? What do I need to do? I mean,
I don't know. We gotta mix it up. Like I think we need to get like the Welcome to the Jungle, something. We gotta mix it up. We gotta make it a little bit better, bro.
How about this? Let me do this. Okay.
All right.
Welcome to Strong Dads. This is Merle Hutchinson bringing you another great show.
Merle, I think it's the exact same intro, bro.
No, it's not actually. I left your name off. Now it's got a chance to be great.
Unbelievable, man.
There you go. Busted. I thought that was pretty good.
That's how this show is going to go. We're already changing it up. We're doing the virtual thing again. We're over Zoom, and then you throw in jabs like that. I can't hit you now.
Good. You got to admit, I made that. The intro is the best it's been just because I took out one blemish.
Unbelievable. So you're really are a piece of work. See, and you're doing it because you're scared of me because I can't give you one. I can't.
I know. Yeah. So anyway, you guys out there listening today, whoa, hang on. He just brought out the chop saw. So Kyle and I are working remote today due to kids being homeschooled and snowshoes and stuff. So we're still trying to pull this off. We are not going to let it hold us back. But in doing that, he can't punch me. And by the way, what is that thing you just held up? It looks like something.
Yeah, I thought
tool of the week.
Tool of the week. Yeah, this is a Japanese pool saw. So it makes the cuts on the pool. Some may see it as like a doomsday, an axe. They really let them have it, the zombies. But this is my Japanese pool saw. It's one of my favorite tools in my shop.
Well, it looks like a spatula that I would use on my griddle. What the heck is this thing?
Yeah, that's kind of the cool part. It's very flexible. It makes can make some fine cuts for you. I use it when I'm making my flags. If I have my stripes kind of one stripe's a little bit longer than the other, when I'm kind of getting ready to put that trim on there. Yeah, I can go to town on it. So again, it only makes that cut on the pool though. So it's I thought it'd be a cool tool of the week.
That is pretty cool. So I can actually say I don't have one of those. I got quite a few saws, but I don't have. I have seen one before when we built the house. The guy that was helping me build the house, he was so proud of his Japanese pool saw. What's the Japanese part for? Why do they get the credit?
I don't know. Everyone else gets credit. Like there's French doors and French toes, Japanese pool saws. I mean, come on.
All right. So let's move on here. What are we going to talk about today? Oh, this will be right up your alley today.
Oh, right up my alley.
Out there. Hey, Strong Dads, you need to listen today because we are going to get you out of hot water today.
Oh, boy. Well, as we are recording, we are a couple days away from Valentine's Day.
Yes, sir.
So, so I'm going to say this is your fault. This is your idea for this topic. So we're going to talk a little bit about the old Valentine's Day and kind of, is it just another day, and how is Strong Dads and the strong men should we look at Valentine's Day? Should we look at it as another day, or is it something a little bit different? So
well, you can blame me all you want, but you know how I got this idea. About 3 weeks ago, this lady by the name of Jenny Crawford called me.
Oh,
hey, I've got an idea for one of your shows coming up. So it was your wife that said, and I don't know why she would prompt me with this subject, but I'm just taking it for what it is. So
now I know you're lying.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. What are you gonna do for Linda for Valentine's Day? And remember, this is gonna air on. We're recording on Wednesday, so about Friday. Day, when this show comes out, you got T-minus 2 days till Valentine's Day. So
I better get it together.
We'll just say typically. What do you typically do for Linda, since you don't want to give away this year's surprise?
Well, I have dropped the ball so many times on Valentine's Day. Remember, we're married coming in on 34 years here. So
is that an excuse to not do anything?
No. But, hopefully I'd learn through trial and error. And so one of the things I know is, one, I can't forget about the day, because that does not go over very well. All right. And two, she likes to keep it simple. In other shows, we've talked about the idea of just love languages and that kind of stuff, which we're going to get into a little bit today. But the idea of just kind of spending time with her. So normally she likes when I put it together. So I'll plan it, and we'll go to McDonald's or something big. I mean, I'm sorry, did I say that? But
if you go to like Chick-fil-A, they decorate they do it all for you, I think.
Yeah. No, but we'll go out to eat, spend some time together. We just like to enjoy that company. So might be a card in there, but it's not over the top typically. Now, if there's something coming up or going on, and maybe we'll dress it up a little bit more, but it's really just about some time together. So we don't overdo Valentine's Day, and that's kind of mutually we're good with that.
Right.
How about you and Jen?
Oh boy. So Jenny is I tell people this, and they always like, well, she really does want something. And I don't know. There's one day a year that Jenny goes, she wants me to go hog wild. One day, and it's not Valentine's Day. It is her birthday. That's like the only day of the year that she really wants me to do something for, that she really wants the effort to really come out. And I'm sure if I did something on Valentine's Day, she would be excited about it. But there's one day a year she puts the pressure on a little bit and wants me to step up, and that is her birthday. So it's not Valentine's Day. So traditionally we don't do anything for Valentine's Day for each other. I don't do anything for maybe after this show I'll feel so convicted I'll just have to do something.
I'm going to see what I can do to give Jen the best Valentine's Day present from you ever. And how long have you been married?
Oh boy, August was 10 years. So 10 years. Okay. Last August, this upcoming August will be 11 years.
All right. So, well, you haven't had as many years of screwed up as I have. So we're going to try to get you out before you get in any trouble. All right, let's thank a few sponsors here, and then let's roll.
Absolutely. Definitely Strong Days Podcast. We would love to thank the Crimer's Beer House for coming alongside of us. Definitely go down on Route 128 and check out the Crimer's Beer House down there in Cleveland, Ohio.
All right. Sounds good. We also want to thank the fine folks at Casey's Outdoor Solutions. Casey's been coming alongside of us. They're getting ready for a busy spring. So for any of your gardening, landscaping, or even just house decor, go in and see Casey, located down in Lawrenceburg, Indiana.
Yeah, we really can't call them our new sponsor anymore. They've been with us for a little bit now.
Yeah, that's right. Here we are. I mean, they started in January. So yeah, they're old hat. Appreciate those guys.
You said it, not me.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into a little bit of background. The idea here is that we want to help you men, you strong dads out there, from keep making the same mistakes that you make. If every year, and you do this with Christmas, you do this with birthdays, you do this with Valentine's Day, if the day after there's a level of regret or tension in the house, you screwed up on the important day. Okay. And we've all done it, the day after Christmas, and she's kind of walking around. You're like, what's wrong, honey? Well, Christmas just wasn't quite what I expected it to be this year. Yeah. Okay. Or your birthday or whatever. So we're going to help our guys here do something that's a little bit different or better.
Right. And I think when we talk about Valentine's Day, I know I have said things like, oh, it's just a commercially, build up holiday. It's not even a real holiday, And
you said that.
I definitely said that. And, you can pick any day. I mean, obviously we're talking about Valentine's Day because it's the holiday coming up. And if you pick any event, any holiday, and you make that reference, oh, it's just commercially driven, it's just another day. What does that say about the importance or what we should be valuing in our marriage? Yes, it is another day, but it's also a day that can be spent, worthwhile and spent, making our wives feel special and make them feel loved and wanted. And, how, we've talked before about pursuing our wives, and what a great way, to prioritize a day or, multiple days, different days throughout the year to really prioritize and pursue our wives. So again, I know I have said it's just another day, and kind of downplay, things like Valentine's Day, but I think, especially when we talk about love languages and we talk about the difference between men and women, women sometimes value different things, and we need to recognize that and hopefully kind of develop and grow and become better men for that.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about how we even approach Valentine's Day. Let's give a little bit of advice. You're going to love where I get my advice from. So I went to the scholar of scholars, and I'll get to that later. But this is good advice. This is trusted advice. Okay. This is not just from me.
Well, that's good, because that's what I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to say, if I'm going to be helping with the advice segment, I'm not sure I should be a part of this, because I'm not so sure I'm the one should be giving advice on this.
Yeah. So the first piece of advice, let's get rolling. The first piece of advice here is the idea of stop minimizing the day. All right.
Yeah.
Now, again, if you and your wife both agree that this is not a day that is really even of interest to either of you, that's mutually agreed upon, and you understand why you're taking that approach, that's fine. Like, a lot of homes don't celebrate Santa Claus for Christmas, and mom and dad both agreed that, okay, fine, that's up to you. And so if Valentine's Day is something that one of you has a value to, okay, stop minimizing it. I look at it like this, how do you feel? Oh, you'll get a kick out of this here. How do you feel when Jenny minimizes your March Madness days?
That's a heart right there. Sean,
yeah. So
that's taking the old saw and chopping my heart.
Yeah. So we don't minimize. If they think it's a valuable day, if it's important to them, then don't minimize it, because that's right away, you just basically took the wind out of their sail, and you were going to put tension in the house. All right. So don't minimize it if they think it is something valuable. All right.
Right. And to that point, when we talk about minimizing, I know it's very easy for me, especially to try and minimize things, because for some reason in my head, I think of these days and I think like we have to go crazy elaborate, and we have to like go hog wild with it. And sometimes, the old saying, kiss, sometimes it's just best to keep it simple, stupid. Like, I know we're going to get into love language, and I know that Jenny, one of her, her love language is just quality time. So sometimes I try and minimize things because I feel in my mind I have to make this big elaborate effort. And sometimes it's just best just to keep it simple and get back to the basics. Just spending quality time. Something that I'm learning about myself that I don't always do a good job is generally be talking and I'll have my phone in my hand, and man, how disrespectful is that to Jenny as she's talking, and to that point about just keeping it simple. I mean, what would it say to Jenny if I spent that time and like, okay, my phone is away, it's just you and me. So I think just keeping things simple, not going overboard with things, because unless words of affirmation and gifts and stuff are some of your love languages, sometimes it's just best just that quality time, to spending one-on-one time. Nothing crazy big elaborate. So I think that would definitely be something that I'm talking about advice, but also receiving it for myself. Just sometimes it's best to keep it simple.
Yeah, and I've actually found, for me to keep it simple, I think early on in the marriage, you hear it's Valentine's Day, and oh man, I need to do something here. You're kind of guilted into having to do something, so you start overthinking it. And if you want to keep it simple, the best way, ask your wife what she wants, what she likes, what she's expecting. Ask her. Don't make this a guessing game, because if it's a guessing game, there's a good chance you're going to guess wrong. So I like to keep it simple. So whatever, a week or two beforehand, I'll just say, hey, hon, got Valentine's Day coming up. Is there anything you're thinking about? Is there anything that you're interested in? Is there anything that, you want to spend some time or money on or whatever? Ask them. Don't make this a big mystery. Okay. Yeah. Keep it simple. Ask them, let them help direct you, because the goal here for Valentine's Day or any day is to try to make them feel like they're being heard and understood. And I want to repeat that if I want to keep this simple, the way to do that is for them to know that you hear them and that you understand them. All right. And when I try to make this too complicated, I'm overthinking things and I'm thinking it from my perspective. I'm going to get her something that I think she might like. And that's going to usually, backfire on me.
And to your point about that, I mean, about asking versus just trying to make it a surprise and make it, sometimes again, we try and build these things up and try and make them so elaborate. We have to do these big surprises. And sometimes when we, I don't know about you, but if you've ever tried to surprise Linda with something, and it's not exactly what she was wanting. And it's just like you're talking about that awkward conversation on Christmas where it's like, oh, what's wrong, sweetie? And because you try to go above and beyond, you try to make that big surprise. And Jenny does like when I do surprise her. So I try to, and I try and be in tune with what she really wants. And I fail at that miserably. But, when it comes to doing surprises, sometimes, again, just going back to that previous point, sometimes it's just best to keep it simple. And if your wife is not really into the whole surprises, I think just like you were saying, man, just ask questions. Ask, what does she want? What can I do for you on this day? Even if it's not going out and buying something, man, just be like, hey, what can I do for you today that's going to make your life a little bit easier? You take out the whole surprise, yes, and maybe not quote unquote exciting stuff, but man, especially when it comes to my wife, that's something that means something to her is just asking, what can I do for you?
Yeah. So a lot of I've learned that the surprise thing, get over the surprise thing in terms of the gift that you're going to get her, like whether you're going to surprise her with jewelry or clothing or a trip. Get over that part. And like we said before, tap into something you think she's interested in. She's suggested it to you. But if you really want to hit the nail with the surprise, let the timing be the surprise. So I found if I know that she wants to do something, maybe a weekend away or something like that, and instead of, allowing that to be a surprise on Valentine's Day or whatever, do it the week in advance. All right. One, because that's something that she's already talked about. So I know that I've got that part. And then if I'm going to surprise, let the time element be the surprise, not the gift itself. That way you already know she's excited about it. And now it comes before she expects it. So I let time be the surprise factor and not the actual gift.
I have a confession I have to make, Merle, about this. I got, it's confession time. So I don't necessarily want to let the bag out of the house or the hat. Yeah. I don't want to. That one. I don't want to let my secret out here, but I feel a little convicted since prior to this we talked about not downplaying the day. So what I like to do, Merle, is I like to downplay the day like the week before, leading up, it's your birthday, it ain't no big deal, and then boom, I surprise her, and she's like, oh, you were thinking of me. Like one time,
that's right.
I'm pretty sure it's for her birthday. I try to oh, babe, it's just another day. It's not that big a deal. Well, I called her work and I got her scheduled off of work for her birthday. And I had a hot air balloon ride set up. I went hog wild one day for one year for her birthday, right? But the problem with that is then the expectations are sky high. So I screwed up in that sense. But if you downplay it a little bit and you throw it in there the day of, see, and now I have nothing else. That's all I'm good for.
Yeah. Well, that's funny because, you did that upright and of course you set the bar so high. What I've tried to do is set the bar low. Okay. So this is something that Linda continues to bring up. So this is what happens when you buy what you think would be cool. So I don't know. Yeah. Remember the Roomba vacuum cleaners? Actually, they're still out. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I have one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's right. You guys do have one. So,
so the Roomba same Elsa.
Yeah. So when that thing first came out, the engineer side of me was like, that is cool, man. And I'm watching it one day in the store. They got a little demo and I'm like, sweet. And my brain is thinking, this is going to save Linda time with the vacuuming that she does. And this is going to be so sweet. So I buy the Roomba.
Oh, no.
Robotic vacuum cleaner. Let me tell you, that went over like a lead balloon. And you know what? I was the one intrigued by it. I liked the whole computer part, the robot part. I like that it did a chore for us. Yeah. She wants to do with it. Yeah. So don't buy things that you think are cool, because that's not going to probably cut it.
Have you ever seen Last Man Standing? You ever seen that sitcom?
I have a couple times. Yeah.
So in that show, Tim Allen, he's playing the dad. He downplays Valentine's Day. I think it was Valentine's Day. He downplays it. For years of their marriage, always like, Valentine's Day. It's just another day, right? It's just what we're talking about not doing, right? So Tim Allen does this for years and years and years, and his wife finally realizes, all right, she's not getting anything for Valentine's Day. Well, one year he surprised her, and the joke of the sitcom is he's the only man that can surprise his wife with flowers and a card on Valentine's Day, and it's a surprise. And it just made me think when we were talking about, talking about surprises. So I thought that was pretty good.
He set the bar so low for so many years that it didn't take much to make it big. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit before. So if you're going to move forward and you want to move the right way, we've mentioned this before, but the idea of understanding what our love language is. Okay. Yeah. So I know this sounds like a little hokey pokey kind of stuff. Love languages. What's all that? We all, if you want to change the phrase on it, it's just the way that you want people to show that they love or appreciate you, not the way you think you should love somebody, but the way that they actually want to be. And so this is where we miss the mark all the time, like minimizing certain things that they like, and then instead plugging in what we think that they would like. And so understanding that the love languages are actually pretty simple. We can go through them here real fast. Words of affirmation, acts of service, quality time, gifts, and physical touch. You're probably about that physical touch thing, aren't you?
Oh yeah, that's definitely mine.
Now,
to your point there, Merle, you talk about the love language and kind of, almost the cliches or the, the feel good stuff. But man, and I was in that same boat. I was always like, come on, love language is really, right. And I think most men think that. And then the more, Jenny and I haven't necessarily read the actual book, but we've done things, the healthy marriages down at church with you and Linda, and you actually start to dive into what love languages really mean. And man, they're big. Because when you begin to speak that same language and you begin to realize what your wife's love languages is, man, it makes things so much easier. We talk about keeping it simple. There's no guesswork then. I know that Jenny's love language is quality time. She wants to spend time with me, and not like the abundance of time. She wants actual time where it's just quality time, where it's just her and I spending time together. That's what she wants. And what that does is when I understand that love language, man, it makes Valentine's Day or her birthday or Christmas, it makes those big holidays, it makes those so much easier for me because I know I can speak that language. Yeah. And then not only is it easier for me, a little bit selfish though, but it means more to her when I'm actually doing it.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head more frequently. You get it right, and I think that's important. Like, I mentioned in a previous show, I bought Linda a gold watch. That's a gift. Her love language is not gifts; it's acts of service. And so, just doing different chores and deeds and stuff like that are stuff that she just gets floored by. And so the idea of me thinking she should get a gift because it's Valentine's Day doesn't do anything for her. And so that's the frustration. Then the next thing you know, you get her that gift. It's kind of half-hearted received on her end. And then you're both looking at each other ticked off because it didn't go like you thought. So understand their love language. And if you don't know your wife's love language, a very simple way to figure it out, ask her. Okay. Yeah. Ask her. And if she's not familiar with the love languages, just go through what I just told you there. Words of affirmation, acts of service, quality time, gifts, and physical touch. Just have a little discussion. Honey, what are the types of things that you like? And let her talk to you. And, by the way, you can do the same thing with her. Tell her what you like, because there's nothing more frustrating than when she misses the mark with you, whether it be for a Christmas or birthday or something that she wants to do something nice for you. So learning how they like to be loved is critical here.
You know what, Merle? You gave all men out there a great opportunity for Valentine's Day. Your gift for Valentine's Day, you can go online right now and you can take a test. You and your wife can take individual tests. I think that would be a really cool gift to give your wife this for Valentine's Day, because I don't know a woman out there that would not appreciate a man spending that time like, hey, let's take this test together. Let's figure out what your love language, because if there's that tension between you and your wife when it comes to things like holidays on what to do, man, what a great gift you could give them, because it'll set you up for success long term if you know your each of your love languages. So Merle, we got a great gift for all the men out there. There, see, we're done. We could be done.
Man, I think you're right with the idea of just if the man suggests, honey, let's figure out what our love languages are, and then actually, like you said, pull up a love language screener. Which is Gary Chapman's work. He's the one who wrote the book, The Love Languages. Pull up a screener. It takes like not much time. It takes 15 minutes to take a simple screener, and really just some simple conversation, and you'll be a lot more aligned. You know, one of the things that's frustrating for me over all those years of me screwing this up, I look at my wife's jewelry box, and there's rings in there, and there's earrings, and there's different sort of things. They never get worn.
Yeah.
That's on me.
Sure.
I bought her stuff that never really did much. You know, I bought her this like turquoise kind of ring. Oh, that's really nice. She never wears it. Okay. That's not her fault. That's me. I missed the mark.
Yep.
All right. How about this one? You know, I think it's important that, and I like what you said, that Jenny's not as big on Valentine's Day as she is on her birthday. Your wife wants to know that she is set apart.
Yeah.
And so Valentine's Day, everybody's doing it. Okay.
Sure.
Everybody's doing it. So you're just basically conforming to whatever the culture's doing. You're not doing it for any other reason. Okay. It's kind of the thing in her mind. So the idea that her birthday, she is set apart. There's nobody celebrating that, so to speak, you know, in her world, except for her. So on Valentine's Day or any day, you got to set her apart. You can't just do the run of the mill. You have to do something that makes her feel like she is the only one. All right. And there's lots of ways that you can do that, just from your simple talk, the type of the things that you do, spending time and doing service and stuff like that. So if we're just doing it because everybody's doing it, it'll lose its flavor real fast.
Right. And it goes to that point that, you know, and I for sure do this. I just assume Jenny knows that I love her and that I think she's beautiful. Yeah. Like, you know, the old saying about assume, right? You know, you make an ass out of you and me when you do that. And I think it is absolutely true, because when I make that assumption that Jenny knows that I think she is hands down the most beautiful woman in the world, and like she is for me and nobody else, like when I make that assumption, sometimes that flavor, that love that we have, there's a little bit of tension, because maybe she's thinking I should say it more, and I absolutely should tell her more often. You know, it just goes to that point that you know, if Valentine's Day or whatever holiday or birthday is a big deal to that person, then make it a big deal. Don't just assume that they know that you love them. Like, man, tell them. I think it's so important. And again, I'm speaking to myself here, because sometimes I just assume Jenny knows. And, you know, Jenny and I have been together since high school, and sometimes I just assume she knows what I'm thinking. And like, that's kind of dumb, because I don't really want her to know what I'm thinking sometimes.
I don't think anybody wants to know what you're thinking, dude. That's a good thing. Let's go through a list of assumptions that you shouldn't make. Okay. The first one is, don't assume that you know what she wants. Don't assume. All right. Just ask her. Just ask her instead. Okay.
Yep.
Don't assume, or don't make her assume that you love her. Kind of like you said just a second ago. I mean, I assume that she knows I love her, or I assume that she loves me. Don't assume that. I mean, we see people that come into rock solid families that made assumptions of 20 years long or longer that everything was good in the marriage. And that assumption came back to bite them in the butt, because even though they assumed, they weren't doing the things that actually indicated that there was a deeper level of love and commitment. So don't assume that you are showing your wife love. Actually go out and show her love. Okay. Actually tell her. When was the last time you actually told her authentically and mindfully that she was the one that you love and that she is special?
I know for me, something that I need to for sure get better at, because I know it means a lot to Jenny. Right now in her work, sometimes she doesn't always feel appreciated. Man, like, she is unbelievably appreciated in this house. And sometimes I just assume that she knows that she's appreciated for the things she does for our girls, for the things she does for me, the way she what she does for this house. But man, I need to stop assuming that she knows that she is appreciated, to what you were talking about, just some of the things that we can do to make sure that our wives don't just assume that we're thinking those things. So, man, tell her that she's appreciated. Man, tell her that she looks good. Like, to me, that, again, something that I fall short on. Sometimes it's just like, when I'm in the mood, right? I'm like, yeah, baby, you look real good.
You look good now.
Yeah. But man, like, again, I'm talking to myself here. Like, we can't just make that assumption that our wives know that. Man, communication is so key here, man. Tell her often that she's appreciated, that she looks good. Even in the morning when her hair is matted to the side of her head, right? Like, those are the times, like, we have to really like, again, it doesn't just have to be on Valentine's Day. It can be every day. Like, we need to make a big deal about those.
I think that's a big point, especially the longer you're married and we all start to do that aging thing, that lady wants to know that you are still attracted to her. And so don't make her assume that you're still attracted, especially when I got these knucklehead guys that come in my office that say that they're attracted to their wife, but they're running crazy with pornography on their phone or their computer. All these things, those completely contradict the assumption that you think she's hot. And I want you to hear that out there, strong dads. If you're into pornography and that kind of stuff, and your wife is fully knowing that that's what you're doing, that message to her is she's not attractive any longer to you. And so right away, she's working at a subpar level in that relationship. So you got to get rid of the porn garbage, and you got to feed into her and tell her, and listen, it's not like you go out and tell her what she needs to do to start looking better. Right. Oh, you need to lose 20 pounds and then you'll be attractive. No, just encourage her and tell her that she's hot. She looks great. And that, remember, whatever is praised is repeated. Whether we're raising kids, whether we're working with employees, whatever is praised is repeated. And you tell your wife when she comes out and she's looking hot and she's dressed up or whatever, you praise that, and your wife, that makes her feel good. So don't drop the ball on that. And
to that point, kind of snowballing off of that, Merle, this is something I'd say in the last 5 years of marriage, Jenny and I have been pretty consistent on. Is talking about dating your wife.
Yeah.
And something that I attempt to do is, man, I want Jenny to know that I'm pursuing her. Because when we were dating in high school and early college, like, I pursued her. I wanted her to know that I thought she looked good, that I appreciated her. And then it's like you get married and you kind of fall into, the slow fade that Linda talks about. You start to get into that. But man, how important it is to continually to pursue your wife. Like, that looks different in some regards, but man, pursuing your wife, that means spending that quality time. That means letting her know that she's appreciated, that she looks good, that you're still going on, Jenny and I, we go on monthly dates. We try once a month to get away from our kids. And I want Jenny to know that I prioritize that. A lot of times it's her bringing up, hey, we're going on a date tonight. What do you want to do? Man, like, we bought a book together, to come up with dates, because sometimes that's the hardest thing when it comes to pursuing, is like, well, what do I do, right? So, like, pursue your wife, man. That just lets her know that your marriage outside of Jesus is the most important thing that's going on in this house. So something that I'd say in the last 5 to 6 years, Jenny and I have really kind of invested in pursuing each other. And I want her to know that I'm all in on this marriage. I'm pursuing her every single day.
Yeah, let me add something there too, because this is where I've gotten in trouble. We need to pursue her, but we need to pursue her the way she wants to be pursued. So my way of pursuit has often been the way I like to pursue, which is usually sexually driven. It's about me getting sex and that sort of thing. And that has oftentimes been very offensive. She does not receive it quite the way I think she should receive it. So the idea is, to pursue her in a way that makes her feel valuable, not just like, the next catch for you. And so,
which goes to that love language.
That's right. So even in the love language, physical touch, and I wanted to touch on that for a second. Physical touch is not leading to sex. And so that's what oftentimes we think about with physical touch. This will get, I'll finally get to have sex with my wife if she likes physical touch. No, this just means touch that actually does not lead to sex. Okay. In other words, that's not the intention. It doesn't mean at some point, sex couldn't happen, but it means that, she wants her hand held. She wants you to be close to her. She wants your arm around her. She wants you to be in close proximity to her when you're at the party or whatever with other people. She wants that presence. And so understanding how she wants to be pursued is so important, because like I said, when you pursue the way you want, man, that's when the hunter comes out in us, right? And
that's having the good motives in pursuing your life. Like if you have pure motives, like I want to do this because I want Jenny to feel loved in this, versus I want Jenny to feel loved so I get something on the back end of it. Like what are your motives? Especially when we talk about Valentine's Day, like are your motives, I'm going to do this so I get this in return, or are they, I'm doing this because my wife is that important and I'm going to pursue her in that way?
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up. I want to tell you, I spoke to an expert in this area.
Really?
Yeah. This is a lady that I frequently get some information from. I actually asked my wife. Okay. The expert is Linda Hutchinson, who does know a few things about this kind of thing. And I said, hon, what is your best advice for us men for Valentine's Day in terms of how to treat their lady? And I thought, you know what? We need to go through this straight from the source. Okay. When I was afraid once I asked her, because this actually came back through in a text message because we weren't in the same room, my phone started burning up with text messages. I was like, man, I'm sorry I ever asked. But these were some cool things. Here's one of the first things she said is, if I really want to get to her heart, that I plan the day and not her plan the day.
Yeah.
Because if all of a sudden, especially when our kids were younger, the idea that, okay, we're going to do Valentine's Day, that means she plans it, she gets the babysitter, she does all this stuff. So it really just became a greater burden on her. So the idea that I would just carry the load, make the reservations, take care of getting the kids, babysitters or whatever. Okay. So that's one point she said. Another point she said is, to tell her how much you actually love her, right? To actually use the words and get that assumption out of there and tell her how much you appreciate her and how much you love her. Okay. Let's see. This is something she said, because, it's not unusual for us to go out and get a quick bite to eat somewhere. All right. Sure. Whatever, we might run down to Chipotle or something and go get a quick bite to eat just at lunch or in a dinner because we're running busy or whatever. If you're going to do something that sets that day apart for Valentine's Day. So if I just always, Chipotle or whatever is our just run through kind of place, that's probably not, hey, let's just run through our Chipotle. And, so it's just too commonplace. So to set it apart, hey, today or this evening, let's go to some place that she likes, but it's kind of a little bit of a rarity.
What's this last one you kind of written down, and we kind of briefly started talking about the whole dating, continuing to date your wife on a regular basis, and again, this is something that I made reference to. I bought a book called Adventure Challenge. And I just want to share this because the last date that Jenny and I did a couple of days ago, I thought was really cool and fun, something different. It talked about doing a 3-course meal at 3 different restaurants. And man, Jenny and I had a blast doing it. It was fun. Yeah. We went to a little sports bar that we've never gone to before. We got an appetizer, and it was like in and out pretty quick because it's just appetizers. And then we went to a restaurant, and we got a sit down food, and then we went to UDF and got some dessert. So something different, something fun. If your dates that you and your wife consist of just going out to dinner, do something different, change it up, do something that's, again, making her feel that she's being pursued by you. It was actually a really, really fun date. Again, if you're looking for ideas, if you're looking for something to continue to date your wife, go online. It's called the Adventure Challenge book. It's a blast.
Yeah.
50 date ideas. You scratch them off together. And once you scratch it off, you're kind of set in stone. That's the date you're going to do. Jenny and I have a blast with it. It is our go-to. Like when we're sitting like, all right, we're going on a date next month. We're going to pull the adventure challenge. You can do couples dating together. There's a bunch of cool stuff in there. So again, if you're looking for different ways to pursue your wife, the adventure challenge book, not trying to put a big plug in for them, but I think it's a great resource that us as men can use.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. That's something that Linda and I have been very conscious of, especially in the last 5 or 6 years of dating. So one, our kids know that it's a priority, our relationship's a priority, and we each know, like we look forward to the idea of, on a Thursday evening or something, this is our night. We're going to go out and we're just going to go have a simple dinner or spend some time together, but it's set apart. And I think when you start dating your wife, it makes her understand that she is valued and you want to spend that time with her. All right. That's a great thing. And thanks for sharing that book that you talked about. All right. We're going to start to wrap it up here. Again, this is Strong Dads and we are faith-based. And the reason why we're faith-based is because it takes our opinion out of a whole lot of the things of how we are to behave as a man, how we're supposed to behave as a husband. And it goes to what God's word says, because like I said, I don't want my opinion shaping this because that changes with the wind. And
Absolutely.
So God's word is really very strong and clear on how we are to treat our wife, whether it's Valentine's Day or not. And Ephesians 5:25, let's just a very simple verse. Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up to her. The key there is as he gave himself up to her. Giving yourself up. That means that we've used this phrase before, dying to yourself. Christ died for the church, you being willing and able to die for your wife. That means her needs come before yours. And that's hard to do. I mean, we live in a very selfish, me-oriented culture, but the idea that I'm going to put her up forward and foremost is going to be the thing that if I can keep that is how I operate, that's my protocol, then I'm going to get it right more often than I get it wrong.
Yeah, we talked about that in our last show, the Super Bowl show. Just, we have to elevate our teammates, and our teammates are the people in your house. Like, man, we have to learn to elevate our wives and bring them to a new level, having those appropriate motivations, not just going in it that, again, I'm going to do this so I get this in the back end, having those right motives that I want to elevate my wife because Christ tells us to. He tells us that we're supposed to love our wives the way that Christ loved the church. And like, you want to talk about a sacrificial love, like that's what Christ was all about. Yeah. And I think it goes to being that servant leader in your house, man. Serve your wives and you will see your wives get elevated to a whole new level.
Yeah. Great point. All right. So we're going to wrap it up. Hopefully you strong dads out there, this little show, hopefully you laughed at us a little bit at our own expense, but hopefully it connected and gave you some ideas. At the end of the day, when your marriage fails, we all fail. And so we want that marriage to be strong. That relationship is the most important thing that you can do for you, your family, and even our community. So let's make it happen. Let's do it right. If Rock Solid Families can help you in any way with marriage and family coaching, please reach out to us. You can get us at rocksolidfamilies.org, or you can call us at 812-576-7625. Reach out to us. Don't let things crumble and continue to deteriorate if that's the direction they're going. Get some help. We want to make sure that we have more strong dads in the future, and especially in your home right now. All right, dude, what else you got?
For sure. Definitely Kramer's Beer House and Casey's Outdoor Solutions. Appreciate you guys and what you do for us and the way that you support us and the way you do. And thanks for coming alongside of us. Really appreciate you guys out there. Hopefully Valentine's Day looks a little bit different this year, or if not, you're progressing and building up to something where, again, you're pursuing your wife, you're putting forth that effort. So really appreciate you guys there. Thanks so much for listening to us. Stay tuned. We're putting out shows every week, and we're really excited about the future. We got some cool shows planned. So definitely thanks so much, guys, and go out there and be some strong dads.
Hey, this is Kyle Carver from Strong Dads. Strong Dads podcast would love to thank the Crimers Beer House for coming alongside of us. The Crimers Beer House was started in 1982 by the Crimer family, and since that time, they have definitely become a Cincinnati favorite. So if you're looking for an incredible meal in an incredible setting, definitely go down to Route 128 and check out the Crimers Beer House.